What's going on, guys? It's Cole. Hope you guys have been well. I know it's been a while. I'm going to explain it in this video. It's going to be a little bit different than what I usually put out in the past, but just kind of want to catch up to speed with everything that's just been kind of going on in my life recently. First off, the last time I spoke to you guys, I was traveling to Greece, and literally after that, 3 weeks later, I went back to Europe in Italy. So all that was literally a blast, and it's exactly what I needed, just to get away from everything for just a little bit. But once I came back, that's when everything just kind of hit. I've been dealing with a lot of overthinking and basically just questioning like my purpose in life and what I'm here to do. And this is something that I've always struggled with since I've been a kid, really. And I pretty much struggle with it in everyday life. And more specifically, when it comes to like doing stuff like this and being a bodybuilder, it's just more coming into, you know, the plans of like what you're planning for your content and you know, things like that. And I'm 7 weeks out right now, and right now, honestly, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. Strength is still okay. Sleep has been all right. Hunger levels are still all right. You know, so we're kind of cruising right now. I am going to get back into everything. I am going to be doing my best to get back into the content and everything, but I definitely have missed. I've definitely dropped the ball on the whole content deal for this, and I've been planning to do this for literally over a year now, and I messed up, and it's the entire reasoning. It was just overthinking. I've just been on the fence with careers. As you guys know, I've been putting out online coaching. It just started to feel like more like a job to me than it did a passion. So I personally have been on the fence with that for a little bit, and but of course wanted to move into photography and videography and things like that. So, and I would love to continue on pushing forward with that too, see where that takes me. Yeah, I just been on the fence with that, and I never would have really thought that would happen. And so I just been trying to process that for a little bit. But then also, of course, with just, you know, not only like my fitness journey, but like going into bodybuilding, because this is basically a whole other job. And it's not even just like a 9-to-5 type of thing. This is a 24/7 thing. And so I just been struggling with all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to talk to you guys about another thing too, and it's more on the religious standpoint, and you know, and I'm mainly, this whole video is just for the purpose of just anybody that's overthinking or anybody that's questioning themselves. And I just want to talk a little bit more about, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But I just remember one day I was just driving home from work. It was a very ordinary day. And I just remember I just sat in the car once I got home for maybe like 10 minutes or so. And I just started thinking about just Jesus and God and the whole standpoint of being a Christian, or just speaking to God. And I did that. And it's not that I never believed in God. I just knew there was something more than what's here, than us, than anything, you know, just everything. And just one day I just decided to talk to him for 15 minutes, just basically introducing myself and just the things that I'm looking for in life, and obviously joining him after. And not too long after that, the signs that I was getting was crazy. Even just people coming to me, even though I never even talked to them ever, like never even seen them before, they would just say something small like God bless, things like that. And I would get those signs quite often for the next 3 months after I talked to him. And this was about last October that I first spoke to him. And it's been an on and off relationship. There's been points in time where I've been really just kind of all in with reading his word and praying to him. And then there's other times that I just kind of go a month off, you know, doing that. And then a lot of the times it was because I was abroad. So we were so busy with everything, I just didn't even, you know, want to try. Weird as it sounds, I feel like that's where a lot of the overthinking and everything came in. Prior to this week, it was literally like Friday, and I was just pondering of just my life in general and doing what I like to do. and just entirely thinking of just stopping all the fitness stuff, and just kind of starting, like, not necessarily starting a new chapter, but just turning the page. And all I asked God was, and this was, the first time after a while of even speaking to him, and the first thing I thought of was, just basically asking God, if I'm supposed to be, a bodybuilder, if it's like meant to be, if I'm supposed to get like, my natural pro card, then, please just give me a sign. I got 2 signs. I talked to him earlier that week, and then later that week, I got this one video and when I say completely changed my mindset, like completely flipped the switch.
How did you keep your eyes on God as like the main priority while also putting in the work for the NBA without making it an idol in your life, if that makes sense?
The purpose of basketball was to bring me closer to Christ. I took that as, okay, if I'm going to work hard every day, my faith says to the NBA, my faith is I'm going to be the #1 pick. My faith is I'm going to be the best player to play basketball. Now, my work's got to match it, which means everything that I do with basketball, the work has to match it mentally, physically, and spiritually. It has to match my faith. Now, these 2 things match. Anything is possible in his name, because that's what he said. And then he also told us that greater works than this you will do. And so Jesus is telling me that, and he's giving me this body, this vessel, and then I'm going to stay in the will of the Most High God. So all these things that I would want to happen in my life happen.
When I'm doing fitness, it was all about myself. Obviously, I'm doing it for myself, but I never thought about it in the standpoint of getting closer to God. And this video completely changed how I view what I'm doing. God already has your whole life planned out, and he knows our last day and our last breath. And that was the video I exactly needed to put my faith not only back in God and knowing that he's there, but just knowing that this is what I'm meant to do, is getting my natural pro card and providing content, showing the journey, and influencing you guys to step forward and focus on what you love doing. And again, I've never been a religious person, and my friends and family can vouch for me. They don't even know. Only a couple of my friends really know that I've been trying to get closer to God. My family does not even know. I almost feel like this is like a moment of like coming out of the closet. The second sign was a couple of days later. And for people that don't know, my father passed away, I think it'll be 6 years. I think it'll be 6 or 7 years in October. And my mother was just kind of talking about my dad. So my dad was a musician. He played ever since he was a kid. He was self-taught. I was going with him to his gigs, and he was playing a bunch of stuff. But I never really knew my dad prior to me being alive, and I still don't. And my mother was talking about how he played with the band Foreigner. He subbed in for the drummer, and because he was sick, and he played with them. He opened and played with Foreigner. And I never knew that. So I was just asking my mom, I was just like, yo, I've been alive this whole time, and I just never knew my dad played with Foreigner. Like Lou Graham. Fucking jukebox hero. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Her main point was, like, obviously besides instruments and all that, but my sister and I, we just have a natural born talent. And it's on my father's side. Basically, the vast majority of my dad's side were musicians, and my one uncle was an artist, and he also just passed away about a year or two ago. But not only that, but a lot of his stuff is in our city museum in Buffalo, and then pretty much my whole dad's side of the family is in the Music Hall of Fame in our local town. And again, he's played with a lot of really well-known bands. And again, just that wasn't just obviously some people have it. You have the talent, but talent's not going to get you far without the hard work. And of course, my dad just did it because he loved it. So it wasn't necessarily a talent, and it wasn't necessarily even hard work. It was just something that he loved doing, and he just kept learning. And that's what my mother means by talent. That's what she meant. And so I was like, okay, that's really interesting, because obviously I agree with her. My dad was very talented. He was a very talented musician, and his brother was a very talented artist. And I like to think of myself as an artist because I'm proud of the photography and the videography things that I've done. Obviously I haven't recently or done as much research as I could be. Like the potential is there is basically what I'm getting at. The potential is there. And so it was just interesting to me how she said that. And basically my stepdad came up to me literally because he was kind of listening in on the conversation, and he came in, and after it was just him and I one-on-one, he pulled up a picture, and it was him, and he played pro soccer for a little bit until he had like a career-ending injury. And basically he was just showing how he was just in his team won the national championships, and so they're in the National Hall of Fame. But basically the whole point he was making was all he said to me was, make your mark. It does not matter how small it needs to be, but it's just the fact that you did it. And right when he said that, I might get a little emotional. Right as he said that just hit me in the chest, because obviously getting your natural, like getting like a bodybuilding pro card, like a lot of people have done it, but it's just the fact that me just proving to myself that I can do it. It's proven to myself that I can do it, and the fact that I can do it without any enhanced supplements or anything like that. Because if you take an enhanced supplements in a bodybuilding competition, the odds of you winning is pretty much there. And in the fitness industry, steroids are just they're so popular. It's a little scary on how people just don't care, and they're just doing it just to get big. They're not doing it to, for Mr. Olympia or Miss Olympia. They're just doing it just because, and that's a scary thought. So when I first started working out, I made a vow to myself saying that I was not going to use any, enhanced supplements or anything like that. And so far, I really haven't. I really have not touched anything. I am where I am because I never gave up. And this is a whole new chapter, doing this whole bodybuilding thing. Again, 7 weeks to go, and I'm going to be doing my first bodybuilding show ever. And then after that, we're going to be, the objective is to get that pro card, the natural pro card. So when he said to me, make your mark, it hit me in the chest, because I knew immediately that it wasn't him. I knew immediately it wasn't him. Like, it wasn't my stepdad talking to me, and it was God. And so as soon as he told me, I just kind of killed the conversation, because everything was just, how like right before you're crying, everything sits up here, and that's how it felt. And after that, I just went in my room, and I spent like 30 minutes. I literally spent 30 minutes just thanking God and thanking Dad, my dad, for sticking with me through this whole thing. And that's the main message I wanted to bring to you guys. I never want to bring politics or religion into anything, but it's the experiences that I will share. I pray and hope for you guys to really try is just sit somewhere peaceful, somewhere quiet, and just let it all out and talk to God. I would just like for you to see where it takes you in the signs that he gives you. Even this video can be a sign. Sorry guys, my camera's internal body temperature got a little too high, got a little overheated, but we're back. We only got on 5%, but I'm at the end of my video. But the moral of the story is if you are lost, in life and you really don't know what's the next chapter, what's in store for you, I just want you to seek Christ. I want you to seek God. I just want you to sit down and talk to him. And listen, he's always there for you. He's always been there for you. Just know that you are on his path. You are on his path. And no matter how alone you may feel, how lonely you may feel, you have somebody. You have somebody. Okay? All I ask for is for you to seek him. He will light up the path that you need to follow. There'll be points in time where you will overthink, and that's okay. We're all human, and we're not perfect. And God understands that. He knows that we're human. That's basically the end of this video. I appreciate you guys for listening in. I'm going to try my hardest to stay as consistent as possible. Okay, guys. Battery died. Of course, right? What else? I just want to say thank you guys and appreciate your guys' constant support, and it means the world to me. We're back. 7 weeks to go. We're locked the fuck in. All right. I'm going to continue to do my best, bring out as much content as I can throughout this journey. Do it for the love of the Lord. Do it for the love of bodybuilding. Doing it for the love of myself. And that's what it's all about. All right. So again, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. Please leave some love. Leave a comment if this helped you in any way. And as always, pay your dues.